I just finished watching the documentary My Mom Jayne, and I can't stop thinking about it. It's not just a documentary, it's a love letter and the resurrection of a woman lost. And by the end of it, I was literally sobbing, and I don't cry when I watch things. Hello there, my name is Cassidy Krieger, and I am the founder of Hollywoodland Photos here and over on Instagram and TikTok and Facebook. This is a corner of the internet that is dedicated to everything old Hollywood. So if you loved everything about the golden years of Hollywood, from Marilyn Monroe to Audrey Hepburn and everything in between, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I'll be so appreciative. So we think we know Jayne Mansfield, the platinum hair, the pink palace, the playful squeal. But My Mom Jayne, directed by her daughter, the incredible Mariska Hargitay, who I have been watching since I was a teenager in Law & Order SVU, so I love her. This documentary that Mariska directed pulls back the curtain and reveals the truth behind the myth of her mother, because Jayne wasn't just a blonde bombshell, she was brilliant. Born Vera Jane Palmer in 1933, she was incredible. Actually, incredible. Her IQ was reportedly 163. She played classical, piano, and violin, spoke 5 languages, and studied drama and physics. She came to Hollywood in the 1950s and quickly became a sensation. Films like The Girl Can't Help It and Will Success Spoil Rock Hunter made her a household name. But even at the height of her fame, she was fighting to be taken seriously. She was ambitious, wildly creative, deeply intelligent, and completely devoted to her 5 children. But she knew how the industry saw her, a newer, shinier version of Marilyn Monroe. And she played that part to survive. But there was so much more to her. And what this film reveals is how little the world actually saw of her. Jayne was married 3 times. Her first husband was Paul Mansfield, who she married when she was just 17. They had a daughter together, Jane Marie. Her second marriage was to bodybuilder actor Mickey Hargitay, and they had 3 children together, Miklaus, Zoltan, and Mariska. Her third husband was director Matt Simba, with whom she had her 5th child, Antonio. The marriage was brief, and by the time of her death, Jayne was raising her children while still performing and touring to support them. The thing that stood out to me the most in this documentary was how deeply Jayne loved being a mother. You can see it in the photos and in the home videos. In every frame of this documentary, her children were her world, and they love her back just as fiercely. On June 29, 1967, Jayne Mansfield died in a horrific car accident in Louisiana. She was just 34 years old. 3 of her young children were in the back seat of the car crash, including 3-year-old Mariska. Miraculously, the children survived. Even her death had to become a spectacle. Myths were spun by tabloids, gruesome, disrespectful, and untrue. I won't repeat them here out of respect for Jayne and her children, but I'm pretty sure you all know the myths that I'm talking about that are completely untrue. A big part of Jayne and Mariska's life and the documentary was Mickey Hargitay, Jayne's second husband, who was a devoted father, and Mariska adored her dad. He raised her with love, safety, and pride. This documentary reveals something that has been kept a secret for decades. In her 20s, Mariska discovered something that shattered her world. Mickey wasn't her biological father, and she found out from a Jayne Mansfield fan. Imagine that, learning something so personal in such an impersonal way. Her biological father is Nelson Sardelli, an Italian singer and comedian who had a relationship with Jayne in the early 1960s. Mariska brought it up to Mickey once. His reaction wasn't a very positive or happy one and said that Mariska was his daughter, and they never spoke about it again. Mariska kept this secret for 30 years, not out of shame, but out of love, out of respect for the man who raised her, because that kind of love always runs deeper than blood. Mariska did, in fact, meet Nelson Sardelli. She formed a relationship with him and with her half-sisters. And in the documentary, we see this unfold, and it was really lovely to see her accept this part of herself so publicly for the first time. For me, one of the most striking parts of the film was seeing Jayne play her music. Watching her sit at the piano, hold her violin, you realize she was incredibly talented. She had a gift. And it's a tragedy that Hollywood didn't give her the room to fully show it. This film lets her artistry and talent breathe, even just for a brief moment. And at the end of the documentary, Mariska receives her mother's piano, something that she had wanted for the longest time, surrounded by her husband and her own children. And I tell you, at that moment, I was sobbing like a baby. This scene broke me because it was healing. You could feel the healing on the screen. This woman reclaiming her mother's story, her own story. It was everything. Mariska made this film not just to remember her mother, but to reclaim her, to see her. And in doing so, she let all of us see Jayne Mansfield clearly, maybe for the first time ever. There are real lives, real love, and real heartbreak behind these Hollywood legends. And it's up to us, the fans, the historians, the ones who care, to tell their stories with dignity. This documentary was so beautifully done and deserves all the praise it is getting. It's all true. So please, please, please watch this film. If you've watched it, I'd love to know your thoughts in the comments below. And yeah, I'm just honored to have watched it, honored to now know Jayne, and honored to love Mariska even more. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Take care.